Greetings, Ascension family. My divinity to yours. Welcome to Ascension Star Portal. Thank you if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. I express my gratitude to you for your love and support, your appreciation, participation, for your clicks, your shares, your likes, your comments, and your patience, because the readings are lengthy. I do not have control over the time, but by the end, when I do feel that my physical vessel is exhausting for me to continue, then I would say to Spirit, let's do the last one, please. And sometimes it does get unbearable, but I am here to do what I need to do. And for that, I do thank you for taking the time, making the time to listen. Thank you for your comments, incredibly overwhelming love and support. Very quickly, I want to explain, when I talk about the reptilian energy, this is a particular energy that is non-human. The ones that are of that bloodline, the minions, the henchmen, have a very diluted form of the bloodline. However, they are very controlled through many measures of control. Mind control, tracking systems, consumption of particular herbs or pills, ingestion thereof. The ones above that have more managerial and director, CEO positions, as the hierarchy increases, have longer, stronger, and more effective roles, like in any company you would have. And the ones higher up are thoroughbred. And a lot of them not incarnate. They are not in human vessels. They are in their draconian vessels. They are the overlords of the reptilian. They are very much connective, like, relatively connected through a species, but slightly different. Like you would have your snakes, for example, and different types of them. The brothers, the sisters, the cousins, and so on. And of course, they interbreed to strengthen that bloodline. So the ones higher up are not working directly with the ones lower down. It goes through the ladder, through the pyramid, in the hierarchy, in the hive. But the ones higher up are very dangerous. And our Brotherhood of Light, the Galactic Federation, are fighting them off, having galactic wars, because from the beginning of time, when Earth was created, these beings were very attracted to Earth's purity, divinity, resources, and so on, and decided to inhabit and take over. They've been very destructive. Initially, we had just the two kingdoms, which was the crystal, the mineral kingdom, which is an incredibly high vibrational kingdom. Then you have the second dimension, which is your animal kingdom. And humans are the highest vibrational energies in creation from the animal kingdom. So we are the highest vibration of and from the animal kingdom, meaning we're evolved, but we still do not have the psychic information, the psychic skill, the psychic abilities, all the clear abilities that the animal kingdom and the mineral kingdom have, which if you do not hear them speak, you feel they do not exist. They are highly advanced and can communicate telepathically, and through that telepathic communication can communicate over vast distances and energy fields. So these particular beings, once the human kingdom began to thrive, they've attacked, inhabited, and used the body to incubate, to gestate their young. And over time, that was modified, improved with their abilities, their technologies, and so on, have been breeding that way. They need the human bloodline in which to help their longevity, to help keep them alive and survive, so to speak. And of course, human flesh, human consumption is what they need as well. The young children, the innocent, the virgins, and so on. And that is what the breeding is about. It is not for your interest or mine. It is purely for their survival. And that is why I would stress today that if you have young children, do not think that they're only after the females, the little girls. They're looking for children in general. They source out these energies. They're hidden away underground in network communities and in many of the prestigious buildings that you are fooled by, that work for you. They actually work against us. So be very conscious of where your children are, who they're with. Do not just trust them with anybody. Trafficking is such a problem today, and it can happen right in front of you. You could glance away and your kid is gone. It is a reality. It is an endless nightmare for any mother, any parent, any guardian. Nothing is more important than the safety of your children. And as an adult, if you do not have your own children, I have stressed that you are, like I am, responsible for every child on this planet. Does not matter their color, their race, their status. You are responsible for the children. And the stronger we become in protecting our children, we can prevent feeding their hunger, the hunger of the negativity, the darkness. They need that to survive. They are breeding children, impregnating women and young girls to incubate and bring these children through. It is very sad. It is something that I have known for a long, long time, many decades. And I myself could not believe when I had come to the realization of all these facts. You know, we trust the people in power. They cannot be trusted. This particular bloodline has infiltrated the entire globe. Very few people are pure in this world. So you have to introspect and use your discernment. You have to pray, you have to meditate, you have to protect, you have to armor yourself with light, your family with light, and always, in all ways, at all times, be vigilant and be diligent at it. We cannot say, God, do this, God, do that, heaven, help us with this, help us with that. Of course you can, and you must implore these divine assistances. However, you've got to put the effort. You can't now leave your child unattended and say, God, please watch over my child. You've got to take responsibility. And when we ignore the subtleties, the signs, the little whims, the sensations, the promptings, unfortunately, then we learn a very sad or very strong message. A lesson we're not ready to learn, but it will come like a tower, and it is unfortunate. And these again are teachings. They are reminders of what is out there, what is lurking, what is drooling, what is frothing for the human body, the human soul, the human blood, the human divinity. The dark are powerless without the human. So do not give them an opportunity to find you, to search for you or your family, your children. Begin to take a greater sense of responsibility. If you are engaged in vices of any kind that you know will attract these energies and entities, they do that and will isolate you, because it's easier to attack when you're isolated, when you're outnumbered. Steer clear of dangerous, suspicious, dark locations. It is safer to be out in the light and enjoy nature with your family in simplicity. It is not about how much I can go out and have a blast this weekend, or a party, or how much I could spend, or how pretty I could look. It's not about that anymore. It's never been about that. It is best for you to be as simple as possible and be inconspicuous as possible, so you're not singled out. A lot of people are being fooled on dating systems, dating apps, networks. Be very careful, because AI is something that not everybody's eye is attuned for detail. Do not be fooled about who is luring you into a relationship with the promise of this, that, and the other. If you do not see someone in reality as organic, do not believe anything that it is on the platform, on the media, etc. I bring this message to you not to create fear, but awareness. And it is your discrimination, it is your prerogative to use your higher consciousness and your sacred heart. Align these energies, and you can always depend on the intuition, the gut, the knowing, the what is real and what isn't. And that's a helicopter going over my roof after a very long time. And that's how important it is for you to pay heed to what I'm saying. I'm bringing a very loud and clear message in the most gentle way that I can. Take your power, people. Use it. And I thank you for that, for listening. Let us move on very quickly. I would like to clear the energies today, as we've had intensive, heavy work that we have done for all that has joined in Princess Catherine's healing of body and spirit and the children. And may we continue to do that work, especially over the children. I will revisit her energy soon to see how she's doing, but I did get a thumbs up that yes, thank you everyone. She's in a better space. She has moved towards the light, but again, she will be in and out. Not to lower herself to the dimension, but obviously to try and work as closely as she can with children. So that was beautiful and very supporting and kind of many of you indeed. And I say to you, you are light workers, you are light bearers, you are the torch bearers, the beacons. And I do not say that superficially. I mean it, because you are. You have the power in you to do a lot of things that you do not believe that you're capable of. And do visit the channelings given from divine beings of light. There's a lot of techniques given, and a lot more will come as we grow and evolve. It did take a long time for me to bring you what I've been feeling at the very onset of working with Catherine's energy. And like I said, it is not easy to bring that to the front. It was not that I hid that from you either. I was very explicit and cryptic in the readings, giving you the heads up. A lot of you picked that up, and went with that. But I can promise you, a lot of you from that, a lot of you would have not believed me if I brought this message 3 months ago to you, or 2 months ago to you. You would have doubted me. So Spirit said, wait. And I also felt I should wait for when the timing is right. And the timing is here. It has come. And I do thank you, for many of you have evolved. From where you began on this journey with me, you have evolved. You yourself would come to realize that there are even subtlest differences in your life, in your thinking, in your being, in your doing, in your knowing. Then you are evolving. It is no good to have a light bulb switched on in a corner and just give you that dollop of light, when it could be in a center somewhere, shining equally, proportionately, not so. So wherever you are, do not feel you have to hide your gift, your skill, your ability, your knowingness, that you will be titled or subjected to being weird and strange. Yes, I've dealt with that. I know what that is. But you know what? And I keep having to mentor myself. Why do you have to hide from what is real? Because others will not accept you. That is their problem. You have work here. Get out and do it. It's no good hiding for what you have to do. But again, we use discretion, because not everybody is ready. We've got to be sensitive about expressing ourselves as openly as we'd like to. And that is when your discernment comes in. And as you accept your power, your light, it will become easier. Think of yourself as this beacon of light, wherever you move in the day, wherever you are, that you are powered and shining light in a 360-degree angle, a circumference, this beautiful orb of light. Darkness will not come near you, I can assure you, but that does not mean that you expose yourself inviting it. Where there is light, darkness will not dwell, but darkness is very crafty. It will use the ones closest to you to manipulate and control you, because you will be trusting and unsuspecting. Now that is what you need to be careful of. And I have learned that in very difficult ways. We do not see the ones closest to us, nearest and dearest, that will be used, and they themselves do not always understand it or cognizant of it or in awareness of it, because they live their life, they're around us, it's taken for granted. Do not let down your guard. Armor up and hold your sword of truth, of light. And you have heaven, you have the guides, you have different realms, you have sentient beings that you can call upon, your personal teams and guides. Remember, your guides evolve as you evolve. Your guardian angel is with you for every single incarnation. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, they're with you. They are your main docubank system, archive system. They keep full account of what you're doing at any given lifetime and keep you in check according to your life plan. So the minute you veer, they will put in your path everything that is not nice to help you understand that you need to move back. You need to straighten up. They'll bring you back onto the straight and narrow, even if it is loss and tragedy. So be very careful. There is no time for trial and error anymore. There is time to pull up your pants, pull up your socks, button your shirt, and get going. And that is a very strong but gentle message, because that is how important this time is. That is how close we are nearing to the finish line. This is what you all have been fighting for generations. This is what you are wanting justice for, because you have been witness, you have been victim of many things through this particular system and regime. And you might think, how much of power can I put out there with light? An incredible amount of power. Give yourself a try. Go out there in bliss, in love, in light, and greet even the stranger that you meet. Greet them with love and light, and see what a difference it makes. And then go out angry and upset. And take stock of the debit and credit of that energy. But remind yourself that too much of the negative would not be good. It is not meant to pull you in that direction. So be careful, be cognizant, be conscious, and be love light. That is all we want you to be. Thank you. Let us close our eyes and take a bit of the sound therapy through. We very much need it to shake up and break up all of that has been heavy and weighing upon us, and awaken us. And as you take your in-breath and out-breath, breathe in love, breathe in light, and feel this beautiful energy rippling and reverberating through your major and minor chakras, your mind, body, your heart, your spirit, shaking you awake. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed all that sensation and tingling and tickling of your cells, your atoms. Doing a little cosmic dance inside of you, preparing you for great things to come. Thank you. I invoke the energy of Divine Spirit, Mother, Father, Creator. Please bless me and grace me with your energy and essence and protection. And may you do that over this channel and platform. And to every member of this family, the Ascension family, cover them with your love and light, your blessings, your protection. and help guide and guard and steer them on their path as we unite in consciousness of love light to bring about a shift in consciousness for the highest and greatest good of all. And I thank you. I call upon my guides and guardians, spirit animals, cosmic beings, galactic beings that wish to work with me at this time. You may enter. I also ask Divine Spirit to bring through the energy of Queen Elizabeth II, to speak on King Charles, her eldest son, who at this current time sits on the throne. I will also admit that for a long time now, I do feel that the energy that we are shown is somewhat different to his original energy. So I would hope that you would bring through some clarity whether this is the original of his energy or a copy of it. If you wish to share that during this reading, thank you. I will shuffle. When you are ready, please bring an introduction of KC3's energy. We will call him KC3 or KC. Please bring us an introduction of what his energy is at this time. 2 cards, please. Justice. And what fell out here is the 5 of Wands in a stack. We have the 2 of Swords. We have the World card. Justice. You are correct. It is not his original energy. It is an injustice to what is being presented as truth. It is conflicting energy. It is a battle, a war that is going on behind the scenes. With the 2 of Swords, you have been fooled into believing that is truth. It is not. The world has been fooled. There are many cards that are here. I want to just go through them. Page of Swords. That is what you are led to believe through your media. A mind control of energy. 7 of Swords. Deception. Hiding from the truth for a long time. It is untruth. Death. The original of him no longer exists. I do believe or feel at this time she's trying to say he was taken out or has passed on much earlier. So there is a double, a copy. 2 of Cups, yes, there's the copy. He's a copy of the original. I thank you, Queen Elizabeth, because I have been hoping that you would give us this message in the most understandable way for me to interpret it correctly and for everyone to understand how I would explain that, because Spirit can be very cryptic. So you have seen how this deception had come out. The Page of Swords. So that was there. Well, here you go. We are dealing with something that is not true. It is a copy. Thank you very much. I just want to get those cards in different parts of the deck so we do not have the whole lot fall out again. But if it does, then clearly it is just a further validation. Can you give us one more? You've given a lot. I do feel I wanted to keep the Death card next to it. We have the High Priestess, the Eight of Wands. It is hidden information. It's been locked away for a long time, but very soon things will be falling in place with the Eight of Wands. There's an 8 again. Quick action being taken to bring a whole lot of what was hidden to the surface. And that will not come out very easily, understand, but when the dominoes start falling, it will be rolling on, uncontrollably, unstoppable. Full circle. We've come full circle with this issue. The time is up. It's over. I'll keep the Eight of Wands here because that was a supporting energy. We actually have the Eight of Pentacles that was under the bottom of the Eight of Wands. So that's another 8. All right. I did ask for 2 cards and you gave me 3. So let me just ask it one more. The Five of Cups. Playing with the emotions of the world. At the bottom is the Hangman. Stalling. There's no health issue. There's no health issue. It is stalling the public and keeping you in that swing of the pendulum. The back and forth, the side to side. For empathy and sympathy, as we have mentioned before. Thank you. Let us move on. Can you show us? Can you tell us about King Charles? 7 of Coins. Someone sitting in a position with very little or nothing to do now. Time draws near. There's nothing more that can be reaped from what is already sown. It is an energy of redundancy now. There's a lot of guilt that hangs over the head. There's an empty basket here, and I want you to focus on that, because as much as everything hangs over, it is reachable, isn't it? But still the basket is empty, because all of that now is non-existent. It is empty. He is empty. There's nothing left. It is soulless. There's no wealth in that body. What else? The Ace of Wands. It is time for the shift in paradigm. It is time to bring new light to the situation, new fire, a great and grand transformation, the dawning of a golden age. Two of Wands. No longer in control. The globe no longer sits in his hand. It's over. The time is coming for a very important choice or decision that will be undertaken very soon. Prepare yourselves for news, for information that will shock your world and rock your world. But many of you that are awake, that have been keen and alert, know what is coming. A lot is coming. It will make global news, world news, as it is already. That dark night of this particular system is very quickly approaching. A new world has to be born. Can you see that? It's not in control anymore. It's an illusion that it is in control. Can you not see what is happening? That falling is symbolic of how quickly this will take place and fall. There's the light dawning. Can you see it? A new world is being born. Can you see it? A new world is being born. I'm not sure if you can hear my wind chimes. It's an incredibly windy day today. But they only seem to be tinkling at specific times as I speak. That is the winds of change. It is upon us. Prepare yourselves. It is the change that you've been waiting for. That is beautiful sacred geometry. The new templates that are waiting to lock into place. This channel has been talking about it for a while. The new templates that are waiting to lock into place. And every bit of your help will speed up this process. Every bit of your help will take that darkness away and bring justice. Show us. The Empress. There's your 3. You will move out of duality into triality, and this world will know all happiness and joy and kindness. The feminine divine is rising to bring love and nurturance, to teach each and every one kindness, maternity, to care for the women and children that have been abused. And this is why so many feathers are ruffled at this time, because the masculine control, the dominance of masculinity, wants to continue controlling. The Six of Swords. I was asked to turn the deck. The Tower. The Eight of Swords. It's moving in the Dark Horse. The news will be coming in. The darkness. For all of this disempowerment that this regime has caused. And he has been very centered within it. He has been part of it. And it involves a lot of the feminine gender and the children on your planet. It's ending. The battle is over and the war is won, with a lot of bloodshed, heartache and suffering. But there is light coming. There is light coming. These swords are on the outside of this boat. There is no more control. It cannot be controlled. The divine is stepping in. Do you see that? The divine will take control. But your effort is needed, your help is needed, your voice is needed to shut this down, to end this. A new direction, a new channel of energy, a brand new beginning, a new portal, the new openings. We haven't heard much about his energy, which is what I've been asking. It is the truth what you are feeling. He's been unalived for some time, and what you see is a copy. This particular energy here, and you can see it, is the species we talk about that is controlling the narrative. It is their truth, and it is bloody. It is negative. You see the blood here. And it will persist for a little bit longer, but not too long. sacrificial energy, ritualistic energy. Show us. The 3. It is a waiting game. It is a waiting game. We are waiting. We are all waiting. There is absolutely no happiness. And we are waiting. Can you tell us a little bit more about this 3 of Wands? What are we waiting for? That came out in the reverse. It's a 7 of Swords. We are waiting for them to get caught. We are waiting for the truth. All this hiding and deception. There's the 7 of Swords. We saw it earlier in this particular deck. You remember? That's how it came out. There's nowhere to hide anymore. There's no place to run anymore. In the upright, you're climbing to get away. That fall will happen very quickly. Is there any other message from this deck? The Page of Wands. When you fall, you will be reduced to basic at the bottom, and you will have to return to the earth. He was chosen for his work, and very quickly discarded. But the image that is being portrayed will be for a little longer, and that was to give him an expression of some joy, the public, to take the throne after many years. So he was a king, a future king, but he's not the real king. He never got there. He never made it there. He was still a simple man, meaning not one that could have been crowned. It is false. But he too was marked. And when it was realized that he was no longer needed, he was deleted, as many are in the system. Many have been in the system. The bottom, well, not at the bottom, this was a card that actually flipped over, but at the bottom, the 8 of Wands. There's your 8 again. Prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves for what will come so rapidly, so quickly. This is an 8th year. 2024 is an 8th year. So as above, so below. Heaven intends, the divine intends, the earth intends to return to its sovereignty, its divinity, and all this darkness in this world that I too have been part of and not proud of anymore. Must end. This is the marked year. This is the marked year. It is an historic year for this world, for this particular constellation. And a lot is riding on Earth's rising. For when Earth rises, the entire constellation, your galaxy, will rise and shift and move closer into and towards the center of its galaxy. You are now very much on the outskirts, almost abandoned. But it was not of our doing. It was many ETs over millennia of time that interfered with the grids of the earth, the plates of the earth, the alignment, and tilted many different geometries to move you out of divine consciousness, so that it was easier to manipulate and control. And we need you to rise. We need you to magnetize and to become a more magnetic energy. And that was the channel from Spirit, not Queen Elizabeth. Is there anything else before I change the deck? A lot fell out, but this is the only one that turned over. It's time for judgment. The time is now. It is a double marking, the circle, and this is how big the light is. This is how much we've transformed. So people, we are working. Family, we are working. Thank you for your every little drop of light that you add. Thank you. It brings me to tears to tell you how grateful we are. That there will be a better movement of energy, an increase in vibration. At the bottom is the 8 of Swords, and this particular card is there, and we didn't have that one though. Too much of injustice. And I want to ask how involved he is with this injustice. We had the High Priestess, the 3 of Cups, and the 7 of Wands. So the 7s are playing up, the 3 is playing up, and we have a second High Priestess of all of that darkness that needs to be revealed. That hidden information, the truth, the agenda. Thank you. Oh, and let me show you what was at the bottom of that. the devil. We can continue, please. I wish to ask you, how are you feeling about what is happening? We have the Emperor with the King at the moment, all that's been going on. How are you feeling about him? We do know that he's not the real one. However, that is what the world is saying. So that is what we will have to take and make do with at this time. Please show us. How are you feeling at this time? I have the Four of Cups and we have the Four of Swords. At the bottom we have the Knight of Swords, which is already on the table. That was the first card here, the Knight of Swords. It's a lot of mind control, a lot of strategizing and planning. Definitely the Emperor, sitting and doing nothing. His head is turned towards the children, but he's not looking at the children. His head is turned, but he's looking diagonally. Holding his staff in control, wants to be control, projecting an image of perfection. Then we had the Four of Swords. Sorry, it was the Four of Cups before. Playing with everybody's emotions, looking in the water, reflecting everything that's been put out, how it's being received. Will you see the clarity in that? Will you believe it? It is all a strategy and wasting time. It is about waiting, and he's very involved in this. The Four of Swords. Hoping and praying that it works. Being on guard and on the lookout. Hiding. What is this person doing? Hiding against a wall or behind a building. Armored for attack. To take on what may come. Lurking from any side. So all the plans are in place, and there are many solutions and options of possibilities and probabilities that will weigh out. So she's giving us a feel of what she can see him doing, planning, plotting, working on this particular entity that is representing himself as the original. So show us how pleased you are with this, or what is your advice? The Tower. Well, clearly she's not pleased, and she's showing us what is happening, what will be happening. What else? I'm actually very glad this card came out, because it had come out in one of my previous readings, and I want to explain something with this card. The shadow side, that is the devil. That's the devil card. In the pre-shuffle, in the various decks, I did get justice, I did get death, I did get the devil, I did get many of the swords that we have already seen on the table, and ones that have you know, fallen out as supporting cards. This is the devil. All right, let us talk about this. She's clearly not happy. Dabbling in the dark, dabbling with the devil, doing all kinds of negativity that is not new to us. There's the crown. It's come off. It is over. I want to stress to you, it is over. What we are seeing is now the physical collapse. If you think the divine is not interfering, there it is, interfering. The crown no longer exists. There is no real crown. He's a copy of. There is nobody sitting there anymore that is real. This particular card, there was a question that I wanted to ask, and I still will. But now that this card has already come out, before I could ask the question, I want to share something with you. In a previous reading I had done, I think it was with Catherine or William. I don't always remember the details when I channel. I've got to go back and watch every single video, and it is very time consuming, and I've got to relive all of those moments. I don't always get to watch every single thing. And when you do ask questions, sometimes I've got to try and get into the video and skip a little parts to see where I can, and then I ask for Spirit's help to explain it. It's just a lot quicker. But then for that too, it means I've got to leave what I am doing and center myself and bring that energy through. And it is not a game, and I do not wish to exhaust that gift, that privilege. So I do answer as much as I can from my higher consciousness. But what I'm referring to here is, in one of those readings, this particular card had come out, and it stuck out in my mind for a very long time, and I have been contemplating on this particular card. We have had the Three of Pentacles in many different decks, but in this particular deck, I recall saying there was somebody working in the dark with a plan, a strategy, a plot. And I think this was William's reading, right? And I used the word formula. I said, look at this, working on a formula. Now, formula could be interpreted in many ways, right? Writing out a formula. And then obviously creating one in reality. Look at the color of this liquid. And if you go back to that particular video, which I have viewed this particular card in at that time, I remember seeing a green light. At some point when I was talking about this card, either before or after, but surrounding this energy, there was a green light that was in front of me, which I did not see at the time. But if you go back and view the video, you will see the impression of it. If you have an opportunity, please do, and let me know. There's the green liquid. So it was symbolic that my pondering on that was indeed valuable. And what I am saying is, this has something to do with Catherine. There was no surgery, we know that. There is no illness, we know that. Her unaliving had to do with some type of potion or formula. And I mean consuming it. Consumption of it. Either in a liquid form or a pill form, or in her food. With the possibility of projecting it out to the ones in the circles as an intentional unaliving of herself. And you know that word starts with an S. I do feel that this has something to do with that. And straight after that was that card, the devil card. Now here we see the devil, the dark energy, someone feeling a bit shocked at what is happening, of a woman that is reaching the end. It's like, oh, what have I done? What has happened? But all along you knew about it. All this light coming in shows that you knew about it. You were the one creating that scenario in the shadows. You know about it. So clearly she's not happy with all that he has been involved in. His hand has been in this equation, in this particular recipe for disaster, of darkness. And therefore sitting and waiting to see how it pans out, and hiding in the shadows, lurking around. There's your Knight of Swords. What else? What else has he been involved in? Show us, now that we're on to something. I think she doesn't want me to ask too many questions. She wants to just tell us what we need to know. The Ten of Wands, the Five of Pentacles. It all happened very quickly. It was strategized, it was planned, it was plotted. It was something that was in the works for a long time. But it happened very suddenly, very swiftly. She was taken out. And it's now about carrying that burden until its completion. That's what it is about. It's about carrying this burden. Well, it's getting colder. It is no longer warm. The longer you carry this burden, the colder it is. The more deeper you get into the snow, into the ice. There is nothing left in this kingdom. Nothing. Everything is dying. It's over. It will have to be put to sleep, to a long hibernation. A hibernation, a forever hibernation, an eternal one. That is a burden that's been carried. And his hand is in here. But I want to know, please, of his involvement. Show us a lot more. I didn't ask that question, but you're leading us there. So tell us more. The Two of Wands, the King of Swords, and at the bottom the Death. There's the Three of Swords here. So these are our answers. He made the choice, the decision. It was definitely planned and strategized at a very high level. He did it. It is over and done. His hand was directly involved in this. And I have said for a long time that he signed the order off. Yes. The order was placed from authorities, the dark authorities above him. But he will take the fall for it. Remember, they put you in that place and they strip you of it. They put you there and control you, will give you the glory and make an ass of you at the same time. So he will take the fall for it. He has the main stain on his hands. He signed off that death warrant. He's in awareness of it. Of the entire plan in its entirety. He's aware of it. Is there anything else? The world. And at the bottom is the Magician. That's the dark magic. There's your Six of Swords again. There's your Six of Swords. Hiding, moving away. Don't want to be seen. Has committed the crime. Fought this battle. A life has been lost. And now I will float away into some place of hiding out of the public eye, not to be seen and questioned, to play on sympathy with the Five of Cups that we had out here. Fooling the world with this dark magic. Fooling the world with this dark magic. I want to show you something with that figure 8. The 8, there's it here. That's the figure 8, which is also the infinity symbol. As above, so below. And that now sits heavy on his head. For there is no as above, so below here. If that had to be as above, this is so below. He has cut through the so below. He has ended that energy. He has not brought in the template of the divine on earth. And that's what it is about, as above, so below. He has destroyed it. It's over. It has ended. He has brought this energy to its end. But from that will be the dawning of a golden age. It was meant to happen. It is a blessing in disguise. Thank you. Can you please tell us now a little bit more about that you've already answered questions, you've answered questions on Catherine. This card has set it off. So the question I meant to ask has already been answered. So show us what is taking place now with his reign. How long before his announcement that it's over? We have the Moon card. A lot is still hidden. We have the Empress underneath, still trying to hold and nurture the situation. There's the Cancer, the Crab, hiding the truth. Wishing to stay unseen, unnoticed, and protecting the future king. Tell us more. Tell us more, please. The Wheel. At the bottom, the world again. The cycle is over. It will be revealed to the world. So my question now is then, what will be revealed? The announcement of Catherine, Knight of Cups, a soft introduction to that, working on humanity's emotions, a gradual introduction to that, yes. Or will it be his demise? The Three of Swords. Catherine. It's a soft launch for her ending to be announced. Anything else on that? How soon? What can we expect? I mean, it's difficult to predict because every single promise that has come from that particular system has failed, has faltered, has been untrue. Every single announcement, picture, video has all been anything but truth. So, exactly, it's the work of the dark. You will never get the truth. They control what is coming. They are the ones that are truly responsible for everything and have used these vessels as pawns and puppets to carry out their work, to keep themselves thriving. The Hermit at the bottom, waiting for the truth to come to light, waiting for what's been hidden and hiding in the dark to come out. We know you are all anxious. We know that you're all waiting. So please tell us. This was a card that was, I think, at the bottom of this one, and I didn't take it. Not that I didn't want to, I just didn't feel I needed to take it. But here it is again. A soft launch to announce a death for new roles, to settle in. The bottom was the Eight of Swords. So tell us about this Lover's card. What is that about? High Priestess again. Everything hidden. Everything that's been in hiding. The magic, the ability to move with everything dark, to bring about fresh new faces, a fresh new agenda. Through the wrong means. It's evil, it's negative. It is all contrived and strategized for the wrong reasons. An introduction of a feminine energy. Is there anything else you wish to say? There's your Hermit again, waiting for the truth, and there's the magic to bring that energy in. You are all waiting for this truth, and very soon you will see, or hear, or get to know something. It is all dark magic. All dark magic. It is all worked at a higher level and planned out to bring this together. Can you see? And holding it in his hand steadfastly to achieve it, blocking everything else around, protecting his boundary to make sure this comes into completion. There's another 9. Thank you. Can you show us through these cards? How do we deal with the situation? How do we, as the public, as the people, whole in the soul, do not take all of that. You just needed to get this card, and all of that needed to fall out in which for this one to be revealed. It is dark. It is horrible. It is so negative and vile how possession of body takes place. And it creates you, it makes you something you're not entirely. It exists. We're part of it. It is soulless. It's just a body. It's a deprived and depraved body that is doing the work of these dark energies, and it sucks the blood out of you. It is very bloodthirsty, hungry for the body. And I know exactly what that is. And he too has been very active in this particular practice So what practice is that? Letting go. We have 36 and 26. What is that practice? There's the spirits, luring women, using their bodies for lust, for flesh and blood. It is the work, the network. It is their blueprint. This marking, metaphorically, is a symbol of their life, their world. Enslaved, entrapped. And you have to let go. You have to give in. There is no way out, or you're taken out. Procrastination. I needed to show you the 8. The ones that are trapped and groomed, that have a promise of a future, while the entity sits and waits to devour. Here's your 8. Again and again and again. So are you saying that he is very involved in this networking of trafficking and possibly pedophilia, sacrifice, and so on? Is that what you're saying? Patience. Yes, the luring of beautiful women, controlling their mind, deceiving them with the outer appearance and experiences. Trapped in the underworld. Trapped in the underworld. Abused and tortured. Can't try to jump. It has a lot to do with women. Using various arts, mediums of divination, I meant to say divining, energy, divination, different tokens, different symbols, different metals, a lot of magic. They're given the hope and the light of a promise of jobs and work and employment, and then they're abandoned and that light is taken away. They are shattered when they come to realize that they're trapped. You see? Go in here and wait there for this to come and pick you up and take you somewhere else. And of course, you will be met by so-and-so and you will be earning very well or doing this or that. So they have that light of hope and then it's taken away. And they meet the end. They meet their demise. The life is now drained out of them, whether it's an organ, the blood, the entire body, for whatever the means. They're adorned and sacrificed, and he's part of it. He knows about it. It is and has been the way of life. Remember, they're not ordinary. They're not humans. They are cloaked in those bodies as a disguise for you to see them and accept them as normal. But there is a very dark network, an underworld that is sickening and putrefying. And I was part of that. I also picked this deck to see if there were messages that would come. Poverty. 3738. Message. Despair. Imprisonment. Let's reducing children, taking them from poverty situations, helpless, from the ghetto, from the slums, from the streets, picking them up with the promise of work, of assistance, of help. That is how they've recruited. 3738. This is confirmation of what they've brought through already. Child labor, trafficking, etc., etc. It is using children in masses, not just in a few numbers, in thousands, hundreds of thousands. There goes my chime outside. And my dog inside has just sighed. Signed off, ordered and signed off by the hands of the elite. With a particular stamp, so they know exactly what they're bringing in or what the order is about. It is very specific. It is perfect. It's like these drawers are open, each one with a different order, different ingredients for different needs. But also expect a message. This is a very strong message. And the 7 is important here, I'm told. So pay attention to a 7. I do not live in the UK. So you will have to keep me informed. And I do not watch TV, and I do very little following on social media. If you send me an email with a link to go and view it, I will, but I just need to find the time to do it. And I will respond. Despair. It is heartbreaking and saddening that a great poverty for the many lives, this will now be the poverty of the regime. It is over. It is over. They have imprisoned themselves like they have imprisoned all those innocent victims. Is there any other message? I have one more deck before we end. Child. It involves children. It involves children. It's all about the innocence and the purity of these young bodies and fresh blood. It is a very big business. A very big business. People are paid, money is exchanged, very high price is offered in exchange for this. You see, the wealthy paying the poor. The poor for what? To do the recruiting, the agents on the ground, the henchmen. It all leads to death eventually. They're all taken out by the main male, the number one, the one in charge that calls this order out or orders out, that gives instruction for destruction. The one that appears so glamorous and gentlemanly, so perfectly attired and topped up in the grandest of luxury and stature, that he will be unsuspecting. A noble man. I leave that there. Thank you. Any more is just too painful to listen to. In this final deck, we have Marvess. Is there something you wish to share here? So Queen Elizabeth, from what you've been saying to us, is his hand is in everything. The Ten of Wands, Marvess, causes and cures diseases, tells secrets and things hidden, can make one shapeshift. Causes and cures diseases. And that we know about the dark regime. Will create a disease and say they have the cure for it. Whether it's a little or large one, whether it's a global one. Can make one shapeshift, and that speaks for itself. For Callow, kills by drowning and can sink ships, controls the seas and the winds, will spare any life by request. The ability to network across the globe, whether on land, on the sea, on water, or in the air, has the power to do anything and everything, will spare any life by request. So if you work for me and do what I need, I can spare your life. You heed my request, you follow my instruction. Wherever I am in the world, if I send a message or a call for help, there's the phone, or I write a letter and I put my order through. If you follow my request, I can spare your life. Gamigan teaches all liberal sciences and gives account of souls that died in sin. Taking stock of the incoming stock, how many we need, how much we can feed, and all the greed. The accountant of the dark. There is no care for life, none whatsoever. It is just a product on the shelf. Anything else? Italian, the High Priestess. And we have the High Priestess here. Teaches the art and science and knows the secret thoughts of all and can change them. Causes love and shows vision of the world. This is what we were saying. You luring women or children, creating an impression of a beautiful life, of prosperity from their poverty. Changing their mind to come with you, to believe you and trust you. But you're not the same. You're two different people in one body. The sun is representing a human body, and that's what they're believing. But the moon is the shadow side of who you are, the hidden part of you. We had lots of cards come out, but I won't read those. It's too many. Let me ask, is there anything else before we close? Judgment, Belial, distributes promotions and high offices, causes one to be liked. At the bottom of the deck is Lucifer, that is death. Look at these skulls of the children. Look at that. That is heartbreaking. That is what literally sums up what she's been showing us and what I have always known to be true. But you keep it to yourself. You can't talk these things out to just anybody. But here I am, letting you know what the underworld is like. This is the great sadness. Judgment. It will be time for judgment to face all of this demonic acts, from deceiving the ones that have suffered this tragic fate. I thank you, Divine Spirit, for bringing us information. Clearly we can see many questions have been answered, important questions. And I thank you, Queen Elizabeth, for bringing us this information. If you were in your earthly self, you would never expose this. For I understand from seeing all of this, you were very involved in exactly the same. And it is absolutely pleasing now that you've turned to the light. And I ask for you to please protect all of your grandchildren. I have such a strong energy flowing at the back of my head. And your children and family, if you can help in every way to break the system down from where you are by summoning all of the divine beings that you can, galactic and powerful beings that you can, to clear the earth of them, to remove them from our land, from our air, from our water, from our space, from our lives, from the lives of our children and the families that are still searching for their children that they have entrusted to go abroad to find work and better their lives, that are waiting one day for their return, and that day will never come. Please look at all of these over your time and the time before, your previous incarnations, and the one that you've left, that you've had the longest reign in. 70 years is a long time for this darkness. So please, it is a clarion call that I make to you and all of heaven, all of the divine beings, and I'm sure everyone that's listening will join their voice with mine and say, please, we want the change now. We summon the change now. We want this system shut down permanently. We want every single dark force, whether it is the powers that be off-world and on this world, for them to be disconnected from each other, so there is no power powering the next one, no connection. Cut all the joints that link and bind and connect them. Please, it is my clarion call with this family of light and all that may come and be part of it. And I thank you. And we shall speak again. Thank you, Divine Spirit, for holding the light, the energy, the essence in your presence over me, the channel, and everyone listening. Thank you. Beautiful hearts, it's been incredibly long. I think the longest one I have done so far. So if you have to listen in little bits and return, please do so. It is a lot to take in one sitting. From what I see here, it doesn't look good, but I will have to re-listen to understand everything. What I see here is Lucifer. 2 days ago, I received a download. I won't call it a download, but perhaps it was. I wasn't paying much attention. And Spirit comes spontaneously and drops a thought, so it is possibly an inkling of a download. And the words that came to my head was Lucifer. One of the dark beings that is most feared. Satan and Lucifer are completely different. Satan is of a dark entity, a dark race, a dark energy, which is like sitting at the helm of this draconian reptilian base, hierarchy, the apex of the pyramid, so to speak. Lucifer was a very enlightened angel, created from the divine and supreme being, to express the opposite of light, to come to this world and teach polarity of energy, how to identify it, to distinguish it, and I will say extinguish it. And Lucifer, which is the expression of the divine, undertook a very difficult task. To cloak himself from light, to leave that behind, and arrive here in the opposite of that, and work with humanity in negative polarity. But his higher self was always connected to the Supreme and knows and knew what his assignment was, and intentfully and purposefully put obstacles and darkness in your path, in our path. And I'm generalizing here, so take it as it resonates. Not in this particular life, but many, many. It goes on for time immemorial. Once humanity fell from grace into this darkness, Lucifer was sent to help save it. And you might think, how does a dark one come to save a light one? Well, there's a great lesson in this, and that was to put that darkness in your face in a different way, so that you can become very uncomfortable with it, riddled by it, and get out of it. And very few people heeded that call, understood that. A lot of them, fearful, had succumbed to it. So leaning on the wrong team empowered the team. And that is where everything snowballed into a larger negative polarity. But I must tell you that the assignment that Lucifer was on this planet ended approximately 15 years ago. He returned and said, I had enough. I am no longer doing this. I shall return to the light. And he did. He has taken his place in the great brotherhood of light. And we are ever so thankful for whatever he has done and for those that have learnt it. Whether you remember or not, the attitude of gratitude will multiply in effect. So why am I telling you this? Because Spirit put this card in front of me purposefully to show you what we've been talking about, which is all the darkness of the children. And we have been working with the energy of children. Mother Mary had brought through a beautiful message which I channeled, and I have been working with her for many, many years to help the children on this planet. So all of you can do your part. Listen to that channeling, please. It's on the Divine Channeling playlist. There's lots of messages there, and there will be more to come. Your children and children of the world are our children. They're hurt, they're suffering, they're wounded, they're neglected, they're helpless. Use your light with all your might to fight. And the second reason was for me to see the name Lucifer and to explain what I've just explained. So empower yourself with love and light, and not with fear. And the reason why Lucifer also left was not because he was fed up. It was because when the harmonic convergence took place, many years ago, the light quotient had increased. The starseeds and the lightworkers on this planet had sent a clarion call from Earth, because we were not seeing results of our efforts. I speak for myself. I've reincarnated many times doing this work, and I do speak on behalf of the many starseeds and lightworkers that were actively and consciously working with the planet and the assignment. And that was not even 0.01% at the time. It was much less. It was almost non-existent. It was like a little spot in a world of darkness. That spot could not be seen unless you got closer to it. And that's how serious the matter was. But we persevered, and many of you have too. And we allowed that light to grow brighter into a bigger spark, a few more sparks into a flame, and now it is a fire. And it is raging, and it can be relentless if you add to it the fire of love, the fire of light, the fire of victory. So when heaven decided to intervene, it was because they sent a message back to Earth and said, we only need 1/2 of 1% of your world's population to wake up, to step up, to stand up, and to keep up. Well, those were not the exact words, but that is what I feel. In a nutshell was said, get your act together and we can come closer. But we're not paying attention anymore, because we have sent many of our masters, many of my children, many of the brothers and sisters of light in many different expressions over time, and you have slandered them, you have tortured them, and you have unalived them. You are ungrateful. You are not seeing what we are trying to help you with. So, this is what our ultimatum is now. That's what we want. 1/2 of 1% of your world's population need to wake up. Stand up and keep up. And that's what we did diligently. We started planting the seeds for a new harvest. And you are here today as some of those seeds. Some of you are germinating. Others of you are in seedling stage. Others are growing a few branches. We are waiting for all the flowers and the fruit. So will you be here with me? Will you share this with everyone you can and create a global transformation? And when that harmonic convergence took place, the transmissions that were sent out into the ether shocked and rocked, and I mean it. It sent thunder and lightning into the ether, that heaven said, my goodness, Earth is sending from her ship a signal. Come around everybody, let's listen. And there was a conferencing between many constellations and galaxies and intergalactics from universes and multiverses. And then heaven decided to now recruit their finest and divinest to help us. And we have arrived. We have arrived. They're here helping us. So do you not want us all to get to the finish line? Please, people. Family, that's what I call you. People, but you are family. My soul knows you. The divine knows you. What are you waiting for? We don't need any darkness in this world. None whatsoever. It is our planet. It is where we have a blueprint and a birthright to be, to have, to share, to live, to enjoy, to thrive in for generations. And she's evolving. There are about 8 billion people on this planet, and that's far too much for the earth, and she will be purging. And I will talk to you about that when I do the channel on the eclipse. I will take you through a meditation, and I will bring through any message from spirit, and I will give you some enlightenment about how the different waves of energy works on departure. But if you haven't prepared yourselves, please, you have a few more days to go through the clearing of yourself through the Michael series, so that you are in a higher vibratory rate and state to bring in the energies that will be blessing our planet at that time. So it is your choice of what you want to expand on, the darkness or the light. The higher you vibrate, you will move towards the light. The lower you vibrate, it will be more tedious and tiresome and exhausting, and it will feel as if you are sinking in. Lower and quicker. And again, I say it with love and light. It is not to create fear or fright. I love you, I thank you, I bless you. Until next.